Hello there, it's Sean. I'm here to give you the weekly update for Sean's model builds. Now, what I'm doing this week is I'm actually starting to put the paint on the windows of the Voyager. And what I had previously done using the Tamiya metallic brown is I'd actually put the weathering on the Delorean. There was some horrible glue around the front hood attachment. So what I had to do is I had to actually weather it with the tester steel, and then I weathered it with the Tamiya brown on top of it. Now, you ask, why am I putting effort into weathering something? It's because I'm going to this particular model contest on November 5th in Mirabel. And the reason I'm doing that is because, well, A, such contests are actually able to be held again after 2 years of everything being shut down. And also because I didn't go in 2019 because I didn't think my model building was good enough to justify such a thing. So this time I'm going to see if I am. It's been almost, well, as you saw from last Sunday's live stream, it's now been 5 years since I've been building scale models. So I figured it'd be a good idea to work on them. You get the models in the best condition I possibly could. Now, of course, you know about the Defiant already. The Defiant, which you can see here. The Defiant, which actually needs some bottom panel decals. So what I'm actually going to do today is I'm actually going to put those decals on the ship. I just have to find the proper stripes. Yeah, they'll be in one of these two bags. You know, that's better, having the overhead light combined with the outside light actually gives a better meaning, gives a better picture. I'm not half in the shadow. All right, so let's see here. We are looking at, here we go. It is decal number 90 and decal number, what's that, 89, I think? They wrap around from the top and those stripes touch right up. Oh, wait a minute, I already did those two. Sorry. Back stripes, decal number 88. You can see how those two stripes are incomplete on the bottom of the ship. They wrapped around a bit, but I have to actually put the rest of them in place. So let's see if I can find them here in the original gray paneled decals for the Defiant. I figured I'd use all the striping from the original set because there's no harm in that. See? Here's one of them right here. I wrote decal 88 on the back so that I would not forget about it and I would not lose it. So you just have to, there we go. See? I found the other one. And the reason I didn't write it in black Sharpie, but just in a little gray like that, is because I wanted to make sure that the stripe went on properly without something black showing through underneath it, because that wouldn't help anything in any way. So, and these are just some finishing touches on these models to get them ready for the contest. All I need to do after I put this final stripe down on the Defiant is see if there's any painting mistakes or something that need to be covered up with a damaged decal, because that's about the only thing I can do to make sure that the mistake is covered up at this point. If I tried to correct it with paint, it would probably just make more of a mess than not. But if I put a damage decal over it, it ends up looking like it's deliberate. And you can see here, this is a little attachment for the bottom of the Defiant. If you didn't use this stand, it would fit right in that central hole there. So consider this also almost like a live finishing up the Defiant. Of course, I'm going to do part 6. I'll post that on Friday, but that'll be more like a live premiere, a scheduled premiere, because this is the final section of the Defiant build, the final piece of the puzzle, as it were. So I'll just put the decal down onto the paper towel and let it dry a bit before I put it on the ship. Gotta find a Q-tip or two. Here we go. I found one. And once I've made the adjustments on the Defiant, I will show you the other 2,000 scale models that I'm going to bring to the show, the contest, and whatever adjustments need to be made from them. As far as I can tell, I'm only going to have to do a little bit of ultrafine red Sharpie on the NX-01 Enterprise and replace one blue stripe on the back side of the Excelsior. All right, so let's see if the stripe goes on successfully. On the right side first, because I am left-handed, so I don't want to bump up against something. There we go. So you just use the Q-tip to guide it into position and make sure it doesn't overlap. There we go. And just a little toilet paper pressed on it to ease it down. There we go. And then you need the micro saw, that's right. Excuse me. Here we go. See? So a little bit of a live model repair, but it'll all be worth it in the end because the model will be finished. It'll work. There we go. So then you put on the other one and hope we get the same result. There it is. Yeah, I just got to use a toothpick to ease it into position here. And there we go. All right. So just press it down. There we are. Excellent. Apply the microsol just in case, because you never know. It might need some help just to get into proper position. There. Okay. So I can officially say now that the Defiant is officially finished. So you can see here. And I'll trim off the excess where it's on the flat section. I'll trim off that excess. But I can leave the Defiant alone as it is. I can put the Delorean back because that's the only one that needs weathering. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back again. So I set the Defiant aside, let it heal. Let the decal dry. And then I will put all these decals and its instructions away. And I will show you the Excelsior. You might be able to see the Excelsior in the corner. But if you can't, I will get it in just a moment here. All right, 1 minute. All right, let me angle the laptop so you can see it. There you go. There you are. Excellent, there you are. Now you can see it. The NCC Excelsior, the Captain Sulu edition, which I actually got autographed on the base by George Takei himself as Captain Sulu. Now, you take a look at the model, you can see that the backside here, see how the blue decal goes all the way to the back, so it's fine. But if you look on the left side, this is a decal that actually came off during the model train show in June. But now that I'm taking this to the train show, you'll see the decal needs to be applied right there. But I'm going to have to prop the Defiant sideways. Well, I think the answer's staring right at me. If you look over here under the window, you can see the paint stand. So I'm probably going to put the Excelsior directly propped underneath that paint stand so that I can actually put the proper blue stripe decal on there. I can pretty well do that right now. And the good thing about it is I can do it correctly right from the beginning. I'll show you why in just a moment. Let me prop the the Excelsior, up into proper position. There. Good. As you can see, Excelsior is propped up now. So just give me a moment. I'm going to get the decal I need out of here. This is a Defiant box. I deliberately picked the Star Trek 50 Years kit. Excelsior box. I keep slipping up. See, I'm working on two at the same time. Plus, of course, I have the 1000 scale Voyager here, and I'm just starting on the windows of it. All right, so taking the box cover off, looking for a blue stripe decal that I haven't used yet. You can see how I have not used either of these blue stripe decals because they both still have the latter section of the blue stripe. That's the only section I'm concerned with, that one. So let me check the other set for a minute. No, those are all Aztecs and stuff. You don't need those. What you need is the dark blue stripe to match the other one. Okay. But if you look at these stripes, you'll see that I already used that section of the dark blue stripe. See? Here and here. So I'm going to have to turn to the slightly brighter blue one. And I have to pick the proper stripe based on the curve of the hull. Don't want to get it wrong. So So let's take a look here and see which one is the right one. You got to get the one that curves under the hole correctly. Yeah, that one. Okay, so all I have to do is go into the decal here and cut off that section of the stripe, right where it joins. Yes, okay, here we go. Right there. Good, got it. And then cut along the edge. Might as well do these repairs while I'm thinking of them because I only have a couple weeks left. I want to get it done before it's too late. See? Here's the section of the stripe I need. So I'll just trim it so that the only section, it's as close as possible to the end of the stripe on either side. So it just fits right on the decal itself, right on the ship. And I'll make it thin, not too thin. You don't want it to slip off, but you want it to be thick enough to get a good settle on the ship, but not so thick that it overlaps. And it looks like I'm checking, make sure I got the width right. Oh, I did. Good. Okay, soaking time. And then just soak the side of the ship that you need. There you go. Good. Then you just wait for it to come out of the water. Speaking of water. So I'll try to keep this down to 30 minutes this week, and we'll see if anyone watches. If no one does, I'll probably go back to pre-recorded videos for now, and maybe not do another live stream until early first half of November, because somewhere in there is my 10 years on YouTube. I'm going to have to check the date of my first YouTube posted video, and then I'll know exactly. And once I know that date, then I can schedule a live stream for that date, and that'll be 10 years on YouTube. And I'll probably take the opportunity at that point to show you not only Sean's model builds, but Sean's toy room, how I got the idea to develop it, and my newest channel, Sean's Travels, which is based on all the fridge magnets I have in the kitchen. And those fridge magnets are, of all the trips I've taken over the past, well, let's say the 2010s, and even a couple in this calendar year of 2022. So don't mind me being silent for just a moment. It's trying to get the decal on here correctly. Don't want anything to go wrong. I want it to align it exactly like I did when I first worked on the Excelsior over a year ago. So just give me a moment here. All right, so there we go. It's on. You've got to move it a little bit, though. Oh, I need the microsol again. And the micro set so that I can move it and actually get it into the proper position. It sealed itself down a bit too much. Because I gotta have it in the right position before I apply the microsol to it. There. All right, here we go. Okay. That's good. That's good. So we're going to move the laptop so you can see it, because I got to leave the Excelsior in that position. But you can see the new stripe on the left side of the fantail now. All repaired and matches up. Because I realized too late that there was a back stripe that would wrap around for the teal set. But I said, well, if I'm going to use the blue on one side, I've got to use the blue on the other. Ugh. So the best thing to do now that I'm done with decal repairs, is to continue working on the bottom windows of the Voyager. I'm working on the bottom port side first, and I'm using the panel line accent to put in the dark, the black windows. So let's see here. There are 2 windows in the second row there. I know, doing it on camera, but yeah, what else am I going to do? Ah. All right, wait a minute here. Okay, there we go. Above the greebly, yes. Excellent. Then the top row of 3 right beside the escape pod. There we go. 2 of them below the escape pod. And then past those escape pods, there's the 1. And there is 1 up there. 1 up here. 1 over here. And that is it for that side. So you can see those dark windows here. And once they're dry on that side, then I can do the other ones. Well, actually, I can turn it around and do the dark windows anyway. Okay. So what I do is I turn the guide this way, and then I'm looking at the other side and the orientation of the windows and which ones I need to make dark in there. These are all final detailed painting steps that I do before I assemble the top saucer. You want to make sure that everything works properly. Everything's detail painted, because it's a lot easier to get at when the ship is in 2 sections. It's pretty hard to get at it when the ship is in 3 sections. That's why I'm doing it this way. And it kind of helps having a plan for these live stream to actually be doing some model work on camera here. It's actually helping me organize everything. Okay, that's good. All right. So I have done that on the other side as well. You can see that there. Okay, so that's about it. You have 3 ships with either windows or decals setting. The final adjustments I needed to make. Oh, right. The ultrafine red Sharpie for the NX01. refit. Of course, I almost forgot about that. Give me 1 minute, and I will go get that Sharpie, and we'll do that only repair that I could see that the NX01 needed. Of course. I'll be right back. Alright, here I am. Got my red Sharpie. Got the NX01 refit. Now let's see here. So you can see how the port nacelle stripe is fine. Doesn't need any adjustments. Look at the starboard nacelle. See how some of the decal's missing? Well, what I'm going to do is I am actually going to replace that missing decal with the ultrafine red Sharpie. But I'm actually going to take the ship off the stand to do that. It's a lot easier to work with that way. All right, here we go. All right, one moment. One moment. I'm going to have to make it. Ooh, careful. Don't want that. Don't tell me that nacelle is trying to come off. That's another thing I'm going to have to do. Clamp some of these things or glue them in place to make it work. Now, once it dries, it will be the exact same color as the rest of the decal. As I found that out with the Defiant. In fact, I can demonstrate to finish off this live stream which exact part of the Defiant I found that out with. Need something to point with. Here we go. So, you see the bottom front of the Defiant here? You see this section just in front of the gold? Well, some of that is actually the red ultrafine Sharpie standing in for the decal, and you can see how you couldn't tell the color difference. So I'm pulling the same trick with the NX01 to fix it, and that's like the only thing I had to do, really. Now, I know my NX01 saucer is actually like the saucer rim attachments. They're actually slanted this way instead of that way. But I figured my happy mistake is kind of an homage to the other ship, the TOS ship, in a weird way. And then eventually they take away this lip entirely and make it seamless. But this is kind of looking like an awkward refit in a way. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so that is that. Here we go. So I made the repairs on... 1 minute here. I made the repair on the NX01. I put in the dark windows on Voyager. I put on the final decals of the Defiant. And I made the decal repair on the Excelsior. All in preparation for the model contest, specifically the Sci-Fi 1 category, as you can see here. Only $2 to register a model, And, oh, wait, I got a chat. Let me respond. Hello there. Drachin Hands. Let me know if I spelled it or pronounced it wrong. And welcome to the chat. Thank you for watching the video. Let me catch you up if you missed the first part of what I did today in this half hour. As you may or may not know if you've watched my video before. Oh, what did he say? You very much did. It's fine though. Okay, well, as you see, on November 5th, that's in about 2 weeks, I'm going to a model building contest in Mirabel, Quebec. Oh, wait, it's upside down. There you go. See? Right side up. Oh, thanks for saying that. And I am going to participate in the sci-fi category and also in the 1981 to today category for my model cars, because I have, I'm working on the Delorean, the Delorean time machine. I've got all 4 built. You might have seen that on my 5-year anniversary video. But I've also been doing some work on some models today. I put the final 2 stripes. You can see them at the bottom of the nacelles here. I put those final 2 on the Defiant. So now it's done. So now I can piece together part 6, the finale of the Defiant, and post it this Friday. Probably a live premiere of the video. And I just used my ultra-fine red Sharpie to fill in the missing stripe decal on the NX-01's starboard saucer, as you can see here. And I'll show you what I got done on Voyager. I used the black Tamiya panel line accent to put the windows on Voyager. Ah, so you say you've been building the NX-01 recently. I see. Was yours the refit or the refit Mirror Universe? Or did you build it as Columbia? Ah, okay, good. Ah, the regular one. Oh, that's good. I have a few kits for the regular one myself. A couple of older ones. This one's from 2005. Let's see what decals I have for it. I think I have. Ah, here we go. So I have some Jack's Hacks Creations decals, which are bluer. I'm going to build that for the Columbia. I have these decals, more detailed panel decals. I'm actually going to use them for the regular NX-01. And if I look in here, I think it's the 2008 kit, I actually have a darker set of regular Jack's Hacks Creations decals to use for that ship. So 3 NX-01 kits I still have. The one with a completely different pattern from Jack's Hacks Creations I will use for the Columbia. And then I'll use the other 2 kits for the NX-01. There we go. All right. So let's see what you said here. Already did a Columbia. It was my test fit, so to speak. Really pleased with the Enterprise, though I should have left the A Creation decals in the bag. Yes, when it comes to the A Creation decals, I'm going to apply my... one second here. I have a... here it is. Decal Bonder spray from Testers. Now, it didn't quite work with the Excelsior. It kind of, those, some of the sections on the front of the Excelsior, actually, on the front top, they failed twice. So let me just, give me 1 minute here. I'm going to see if I can show you a picture on Dropbox, because I only have 330 or so subscribers on Sean's Moto Builds. I cannot stream live from my cell phone yet, but that's good because it lets me show you Dropbox pictures. Because it's on its side while the decal dries. Let me see here. A good picture of the top of the ship. Ah, here we go. Good front picture. Let's make sure it loads. Here we go. All right. So if you zoom in on the top near the bridge, you will see how those sections are different color than those. That's because I found Craftsmart Deco Art Turquoise, actually, and I used it to match the color of the decals when they were dry as closely as possible. Now, the good thing is, when I took it to the Fan Expo, that was October 24th of last year, right? And while I was there, I managed to actually, press rotation, actually get George Takei's autograph on the Excelsior. You can see that here. He took 30 seconds to sign it. Oh, thanks for saying it looks good to me. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, he took about 30 seconds to sign it. He seemed happy to do so. So that's the second ship I got autographed. If you saw my 5-year anniversary video, you'll know that I actually, move here for a minute. You'll know that I actually got William Shatner to autograph my 650 TOS Enterprise. Now that was actually a present from a friend of mine, a gift. He traded it for DVDs with me. And I gave it a new paint job. I gave it new decals from Federation Models. Oh, what did you say here? Takei is a great guy. Would love to meet him someday, but I think I might be running out of time. Well, he did come up to Canada, and at the time they still had the border closure in effect for leisure travel and everything. But I guess it depends now on how close you are to a convention, if you can afford to go to one, etc. As to whether you can see him. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, is he going to go overseas? Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. That's true enough. Guess there's not that many North American movie stars that, unless they're filming over in Europe, would actually go all the way over there for a convention. That's true. Guess I'm lucky living here. But anyway, since you're on here, is there anything else you want to add? Anything you want to ask me about any of the models that you can see behind me? Anything you might have missed in the 5-year anniversary video if you watched that one? Or any questions about any of the model kits I have, both on the car shelf or the space shuttle shelf or the Star Trek and Star Wars model kit shelf. Enterprise B on the top shelf. There is an Enterprise B. It's not exactly on the top shelf. It is actually, give me a minute to pull it out. It was actually on the middle shelf. It's actually, right here. It's from Star Trek Generations. I actually picked up 2 of them so that I can build one. Top shelf behind me. Oh, right. Sorry about that. You're absolutely right, it is. I will bring it down for a closer look. This is the 1400 scale Enterprise B from StarCraft Models. And I use the decal set from Federation Models. So what I did on this ship is I actually alternated the panels before I put the Aztecs down with pearl. I used Craftsmart Robin's Egg Blue in the grid lines along the edge of the saucer. And then I wiped it off with a Q-tip so it was only left in the grid lines. I did the same thing with the trim here. It was actually one of my first masking attempts. Before I even put any decals on, I masked around that stripe and then painted it in manually. So you can see the back top of the ship. You can see underneath. And there, and the bottom of the ship itself. See, that ring on the bottom saucer is what I use for my color guide for Robin's Egg Blue. Now, there are some blue ones on the bottom as well. But I think I got most of it pretty good. Ooh, looks like a decal's trying to come off here. 1 second. Ah, there we go. All right. Put it back. Doesn't have a stand, so it kind of leans up against my Star Wars paperweight. Ah, but that's all right. Oh, let's see. I'll show you the first ship I put together and painted all by myself. That is the 2500 scale Enterprise C from the old AMT Cadet set. You can see it here. Again, I used decals with the panel lines. Again, all the way through. I used pearl. I painted in the windows. It was just black paint with a toothpick, or maybe a black Sharpie, actually. Ooh, 1/1000 scale. That's a pretty big Enterprise C. I didn't know they made any one that big. Huh. I do have a... I do have a 1400 scale one. Could that be the one they're referring to? Or did you 3D print it? Ah, 3D design and print. Oh, from your own design? All right. Okay, everything's back in shape on the shelves. Ah. Oh, you converted it from... Oh, okay. I'll wait. In the meantime, I'll go and get the... couple of my DeLoreans. I'll be right back. Yeah. All right. All right, so here we go. Here's my first DeLorean that I built in 2019. Ooh, 1/8 Eagle Moss DeLorean. I have a couple of Eagle Moss ships. The Enterprise D, the Generations Enterprise D, etc. Here's my DeLorean, 24 scale from Polar Lights. And I made sure that I tucked the lightning rod against the starboard side so that it can be easily slipped out of the bracket. Ooh, careful. And put in place on the top of the car. Ah, there you go, see? And the wheels roll freely and everything. Yeah, I think I have a couple of Enterprise Ds. Where are they? Oh, back there. Okay, let's see if I can get it out without it disturbing Voyager. Yeah, an Eagle Moss NX01. Oh, sorry, starboard and port side. I meant right and left. Here's an Eagle Moss All Good Things Enterprise D, also known as the Galaxy X class, probably. And here's the regular Enterprise D. You can see how some of the windows are black, some of them are white. Yes, you're right, cars don't work with port and starboard. That's for naval vessels only. Now, of course, I build starships so much that I automatically started applying it to the cars. Yes. All right, so that's the first DeLorean. I've got the second one, the one that flies. You can see how I adapted the flying circuits from stickers on here. And of course, painted the center of the wheels right so that they're like the flying thrusters. And of course, it has Mr. Fusion. And if you look in the passenger seat, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, it has the Sports Almanac. I just grabbed a sticker and painted it with the appropriate colors with Sharpies to make it look like the Sports Almanac, figuring a little prop like that would have. Add some realism, yes. And then for the third DeLorean, I used metallic Tamiya brown to weather it till it looked like desert sand. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And if you look in this window, you will see the photo of Doc and Marty at the clock tower. If you look in the footwell, you can see Marty's boots and the hoverboard. And of course, the train wheels DeLorean, which is safe in its case right now. I did it with the train engine temperature gauge and the hoverboard, of course. I even put a little bit of dirt on the tires from the Tamiya metallic brown, so it looks like it's been buried in a mine for 70 years. That its steel is kind of has a bit of burn marks on it from being struck by lightning, and of course it's been bouncing through the desert sand. Of course, I'm not weathering the fourth one because it didn't have glue mistakes. It needed covering up. And also, I figured that while Doc and Marty had it in 1885, they probably had a way to, clean and brush all the sand off it. He did repair the fuel tank and everything, so he probably cleaned up the car while he was doing that. So anyway, it's been almost, I might as well show you the other model cars. So let's go out to the living room. I had to expand out there because, as you can see, my other Starship model shelves are full. So I had to expand into the living room to display the model cars. All right, this way. Yeah, there you go. That's the model car. So that's the 24 scale Airfix Herbie, 32 scale Revell Herbie. That's based on 1982. That's based on 1974. Car from Knight Rider, which I built from the MPC kit, model kit. The Miami Vice Daytona Spider. The 97 Herbie that I built from the Coca-Cola Volkswagen kit from Polar Lights. Paul's Eclipse from Fast and the Furious. And, of course, the Mark IV DeLorean. So give me just a moment, and I'll come back and put the other three DeLoreans in their spot. All right, so Mark II, Mark III, right above their little place cards, which you can see here. And, of course, the Mark I, which has its lightning rod. There we go. So now you can see all four of my DeLoreans all are lined up there. Yeah. So back in the model room we go. The Batmobile. Oh, well, I do have one. In fact, I have a couple of them. And they are actually the original ones from the movies. So you give me a moment. Oh, what'd you say about the DeLorean? They did put the white wall wheels tires on after it was buried for 70 years. That's true. And they put the time circuitry tray on the front hood and everything. But it still got all covered with sand by the time it made it to the cave where Marty was attacked by the bear. So just give me one moment to move some stuff from in front of that white cabinet, and I will show you the Batmobile. No matter how much room you think you have, even when you have a whole room devoted to model building, it's never enough. That's why I'm starting to save up the down payment so I can have a house. So I can have a basement full of storage. All right, so let's move you closer. There you go. And open up the cabinet. All right, well, 1 minute here. Let's see, can you do that? Oh, that's better. There you go. Batmobiles. So, the original 1989 Batmobile and the original 1995 Batmobile from Batman Forever. I found them at a model show when I lived in Quebec. That's where I bought a lot of my model kits, including Smokey and the Bandit, the Starsky and Hutch car, the Grease Lightning 4, Dominic's Fast and Furious Dodge Charger, Christine, the Austin Powers car, and the Ghostbusters kit. This was a Christmas present from parents. I bought these two. There's the 60s Batmobile, and of course the RoboCop police cruiser. So that is basically the fictional model car cabinet. And then most of these model cars up here, except for the Batwing, of course, are all real-life vehicles, real-life NASCAR and everything. The Mad Max Interceptor, yes, that's right. I haven't actually seen a model kit of that one yet, but I'll have to look for it. Oh, and thanks for giving a thumbs up to the chat, by the way. Huh. So do you build model cars also? Oh yeah, well of course you did the Eagle Moss 1/8 DeLorean, but do you mostly build fictional model cars or real life ones? Don't mind me, I'm just putting the Excelsior back where it belongs. There we go. Okay, so I've done the repairs. Oh, I'll show you my first ship. My first build of the refit. That sticker just won't stay on, but luckily the one I handmade sticks on just fine. Yeah, there we go. Mostly fictional. Yeah, me too. Because there's just too many cars otherwise. This is the 24th century refit Enterprise. As if they kept it Constitution class, except they made it blue and red, just like 24th century ships. And I gave mine a little bit of metallic trim, and I colored the Aztec decals with soft metallics underneath the saucer because I realized I couldn't see them against the Krylon chrome hull, and I used a chrome hull because it was a lot like silver, and it had been 25 years in 2018 since I first built a model. But I was able to use the A Creation Aztec decals on the top and was actually able to subtly make out the pattern. Man, I'm happy. I have 3 other refits, of course. I'm going to build one as the screen accurate motion picture one, coloring the Aztec decals with my with my golden interference paints, green, red, gold, and blue. This was just like a prototype build. Could I do it? Could I put the decals on and everything? Oh, I see. Aztec decals to be very subtle, almost invisible. Right. That's a good point. And that's what I'm going to try to do. In fact, I can show you something on Voyager here for a minute. Now, if you look at the bottom of the Voyager, you see these raised fins at the top here. But if you turn them in the light, then you can see the Aztec colors, but otherwise, they're almost the normal hull gray. It's the same with, oh gosh, where did I paint them? You see? It's the same on the bottom of the saucer. If you look carefully, you might just be able to see them here and here, but you have to get it into the light to see it properly. It's hard to see, but I painted Aztecs on there, and I also painted them on this white. It just doesn't show up, but only from the right angle, yes. I'll show you the actual bottle of paints that I use. Here they are. You want to look for this. Golden iridescent paints. You can get them at a paint store. And I will go and show you the Aztec decals I've already painted. Started painting with those. Just give me one moment. Gotta move the boxes so I can get out of the room. Be right back. I'd completely forgotten that I had 2 advertisements from the model contest instead of just 1. But there was a special sale by Cult TV Man. Oh, what'd you say? I live half a planet today. What you can buy in hobby stores is not necessarily available in your corner of the world. That's true. So I guess if you're in Germany, you're probably what? 7 hours ahead? So it's about, what is it, 6 p.m., almost supper time where you are? All right. This is the guide for the A 7 p.m., okay. This is the guide for the A Creation decals. 5 p.m., oh, all right. Yeah, 7 hours ahead, 6 hours ahead. But you see what I did with the saucer section decals? If you look on the bottom, I did that whole row with the decals, and you can see them sparkling in the sun there. See? But they're only a little darker than the other ones. And you can't really tell from a distance that they've even been painted at all. And what I did is wherever you see a red square, I use the iridescent red on it. Wherever you see a yellow one, I use the iridescent yellow, etc. And I tried the Martha Stewart pearls, which you can see on this side, but I found that the golden iridescent worked much better. They were just like the motion picture colors. And I actually ordered online. I ordered the Starship Modeler Painting Guide. It comes in PDF form with pictures and everything. Oh, what decals? Okay, they are... here we are. They're these ones. A Creation Models decals for the 537 refit. You might be able to order them on the culttvmanshop.com website. That's where I was able to order mine, anyway. And they've come in handy. I mean, I've been able to work on them, and you can see they have the green. They specifically have the green of the refit. That's why I'm saving it for the... I'll show you the kit I'm saving it for. Yes, I was lucky to learn about them because, yes, you're right. They've been long gone. But I was lucky for, I think it was about, maybe it was 80, maybe less. I managed to score the 1979 Smoothie Kit off of Federation Models. And it has all its parts. It's never been built. Everything is in here. Of course, I ordered some aftermarket decals and even some aftermarket parts from Lake Monster Models that took over from the Dawn's Light and Magic section. And then even from Federation Models, they had some corrected pieces. They had little shuttles that are actually in scale with the 537. They have the corrected window panels, etc. And, well, you can see the instruction guide here. Oh, talking about more kits, you got the Don Shoko 1000 scale Enterprise D. Oh, well, that's great. If I remember correctly, Lou Del Maso built that one. I think it was back in 2018, 2019. He has a whole build series on his Aztec Dummy YouTube channel on that model. Huh. There, you can see the smoothie kit there. They seem to have much longer pegs for the Enterprise. You can see, I test fit together the top and bottom saucer. Now you can see they're kind of yellowed, but that's what the gray primer is for. It'll take care of the yellowing just fine. Oh, but you see, now still missing the fourth lifeboat hatch. So what I had to do is I had to trace out the existing hatches here on my masking tape, transfer it to the proper section of the hull, and then just start cutting with the X-Acto over top of the Sharpie until I got through into the hull, and then you had an inscribed hatch. And of course, what I did is I made sure that I put all the parts into their Ziploc bags, including all the parts for the neck and the top of the hull, secondary hull, the blowout panels, and of course, the secondary hull, the stand, and the nacelles. Now, if you look carefully, you'll see how the tab at the bottom of the nacelle is much more substantial than it ever was before. And I'm guessing, rightly or wrongly, we'll find out. I want to test something here while we're on the live stream. Let's take a look at these nacelles for just a minute and see if they actually stay properly aligned on the blowout panels or if they're going to need some adjusting. One second here. All right. So you've got the blowout panel piece here. And you have, all right, let's see, are we doing this right? Oop, reverse. Okay, here we go. Here we are. All right, here we go. I just want to see if it'll fit in place properly, that's all. There we go. Good. And all right, that one fits. There we go. See? Okay, so we've got a nacelle pylon in place. Let's see which blowout panel it fits into. Well, there you go. Don't think you have to worry about the sagging nacelle. And you can always get in here and reinforce everything with glue. Well, I've thought about lighting up kits, but I could barely program my PVR, so I wouldn't want to risk trying to light up a model kit. Not at this time. Maybe later, though. You never know. But right now, I prefer to actually paint up my models so that they look like they've been lit up, which is why I actually lit up the windows. Well, I painted in the white windows on the NX-01 here. So it looks like it's lit up. And there's only so much I can do living in an apartment also. I mean, they probably wouldn't allow a lot of electronic stuff in here. Wiring and soldering and all that stuff. You'd probably pretty well need a house with a garage for that kind of work. Another reason to save up for a house so I can have a dedicated model room and hopefully be in the same property for a good long time. Something I can invest in and watch its value grow, etc. All right, I'm going to put the smoothie away. But thank you for sticking around in the chat and talking before you came online. I was about to take it away at the half-hour point, but here it is, an hour and 5 minutes, and having a great conversation. So I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I also have a fictional shuttle model kit, the Moonraker. Not sure if it's 5 or 6. Oh, well. It's 6 on the box. You can see that there. Actually, let's see what decals it comes with. Maybe it'll tell us 5 or 6. Here we go. Here's the decals. Okay. Looks like you could build it as Moonrakers 1 through 6. Yeah, thankfully I was an only child, so talking to myself is kind of second nature to me. In fact, when I'm in a strange city, I actually talk to myself in dark alleys so that I don't get mugged, so they might think I'm crazy or something. Yeah, I get the model 6 times, but I've only seen it the once, even at the hobby shop. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I also collect. Well, I didn't need that to pop up. That dating thing. Okay. I also collect die-cast cars. You can see the 60s Batman. You can see the Knight Rider kit there. All right. Well, let's see. I've done all that. I've talked to you about the model kit. I've made the adjustments on 3 kits that I'm taking. Well, 4 if you count the Mark IV Delorean. So that's pretty well about all I had to show you for this this live stream. I'm probably going to go now, but I'll be back next Friday. Yeah, all you have to do is sell me one of your Enterprise B kits. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I already that could work. You never know. I mean, what I did when I was deployed is I actually ordered them from the Cult TV Man shop, but had them sent to my home here. I got hold mails that would stay at the post office for those 5 months and everything. But speaking of kits that I actually ordered from Germany, I actually here we go. I actually got the Revell Germany 670 scale Voyager. And I have actually been making use of that Revell Germany painting guide to help me paint the windows on my 1000 scale. Oh, you hate Revell. Okay, well. Polar Lights is a lot better. That's true. I've found that myself. I mean, Revell works well for model cars. I built Paul's Eclipse in 3 weeks. But Polar Lights works well as well. I haven't had good luck with AMT. Oh, it's the only one available in Germany. I see. Well, that would make the difference. Let's see. What else have I got here? Oh, my Star Wars kits. Right. I'll show you them. They're on the very bottom shelf of so you can see here. So that was the first Star Wars kit I bought, the Venator. A friend gave me these 3 wrapped kits, Pod Racer, Battle Droid, and from 1997 when they re-released Star Wars, the Cantina scene. Of course, I have the 25 scale 2700 1400 scale Revell Star Destroyer. I have the StarCraft Excelsior NX and regular class. And I've been collecting the moon landing kits and everything, and some space shuttle kits, as you can see here. This is actually from 1979. I know, Revell, the Columbia. But there's also the Discovery, there's a Tamiya shuttle kit, etc. A few released Star Wars kits here. There's the rare purple box Batmobile, the General Train, etc. And then here's the big 350 scale refit and original Enterprise. The Rambo Combat Chopper, which I got for about $20 at a toy show. And I have my little Constructs Army Man, or this other one I found that might work for the kit itself. But seriously, you go into a model store and 99% of the kits and colors and whatnot are Revell. Yeah, that's true. You don't see many polar lights at all, unless it's Star Trek starships, because that seems to be the only brand you find there. Unless of course it's an older hobby shop, in which case you might find AMT or Monogram. That the Voyager. This Voyager, I actually built from the Monogram Voyager kit from 1995. I bought it during a road trip across the U.S., and I was going to a course that was held in Trenton. I was living in Alberta at the time, and I ordered it, and on the way back, I got it for $40. Oh, 1,000 scale Enterprise E. Oh no, that's a bit too big for me. I already have. I already have my 1400 scale Enterprise D, and you can see it's plenty big enough. See? That's quite big enough as it is. But thanks anyway. I also have a 1400 scale Enterprise E. That was the second model work I ever did. I painted by hand. All over the ship was Tamiya silver metallic, because I realized it had the side effect of making the windows look like they're lit up. And then a friend taught me how to spray paint. All right. Okay. So I get. Let's see here. What is it? There's no such thing as too big. You got it. Oh, the Enterprise F. Yes, the Enterprise F is now canon. The Odyssey class is now canon for Picard Season 3. I don't know how much of a fan you are of what you call Kurtzman Trek. I watched Star Trek for the first time, Wrath of Khan, in 1988. My mom taped it for me, and Search for Spock. So I've been a fan of the original series, Next Generation, Voyager. Watched some of the last couple seasons of DS9. Didn't really get into it until season 6. Kept missing it. I was at school a lot, so I didn't see the seasons. And I even watched Enterprise, which is why I built a NX-01 refit, which should be completely dry by now. You can see NX-01 refit Enterprise. That's a more professional looking stand label for the ship for the model contest. That's quite a high stand, but there you go. There's my refit. And you can see how I... Alright, well, it looks like the starboard nacelle turned out well. Kind of blends in with the decal. Great. And you can see the back engines here. Oh, yeah, thank you very much. That's pretty well done now. Don't think there's too much more to do on that. Maybe a little clamping for some pieces if I can get at them. But that's pretty well it. We'll see it. We'll see if I place at the model contest or not. But it's pretty well my best 1,000 scale work. So that's why I'm doing it. Oh, I never got a chance to show you the Excelsior, did I? That decal should be dry by now. I decided to give it some trace of the original Excelsior with a blue stripe right along there. But you'll see the Excelsior was autographed by George Takei. Yes, oh well, you could build one if you want. So the final details on the Excelsior are complete. It's going to go back on the shelf until I pack it up in 12 days for the model contest. There we go. All right. And here's the Defiant. All done. Oh, feel free to send it your way. Oh, you mean the spare Enterprise B? Too bad the Enterprise B is not available anymore for a decent price. Yeah, I was lucky. I got, well, you could get one for 40 or two for 80, so I got the two. I figured that was too great a deal. All right, so there's the bottom of the Defiant. What I did is I painted some of the gray panels different shades of blue with the folk art. That way I was able to give it a more peacetime look. I didn't want it to be all gray and dull, but I kept those blue triangle panels there. One of them was painted on top of the decal, one of them was just painted on the hull itself. All right, and Voyager's coming along. The windows have been painted. I think the only thing left to do now is to apply... Ah, yes, here we go. See, on Voyager there are painting guides for the little panels in the secondary hull. So that's the next thing I'd be painting with the refit. Well, yes, the Defiant's a battleship, but if you take a look, I labeled it as a post-Dominion War refit so that I could get away with painting the panels a different color. But if you'll notice, and I'll have to get close for this, if you notice, I colored in the phasers orange if they try to start anything. Even at the back, I put in torpedo launchers back there. Torpedo launchers back here. On the front, there were some indents and stuff that I couldn't tell, so I painted the orange phasers here. I painted the orange phasers on the lifeboat. I painted a couple phasers here, and on the front, so you have the phasers, top and bottom. You have the photon torpedo launchers, and the blue one is the quantum launcher. So it's just as well-armed as it ever was. It just has more color. I call it the peacetime refit, but all they really did was paint some of the panels a brighter color. Because if you look at the front of the box, you see how it's all just a mix of dull grays, and it looks very depressing and everything. So what I wanted to do was brighten it up a bit, make it look better. Oh, there you go. There's a good angle. Yeah. All right, what's he saying here? Sometimes color makes all the difference. I used to hate the Enterprise C, my least favorite Star Trek ship by far, then I found a guy with a unique part job and it clicked. Yes, I looked at Lou Del Meso's build myself, but what I'm going to do with the Enterprise C is, first of all, for the top hull, I have... Again, I have some Jack's Hacks Creations panels, but I also have some Federation model panels. Oh, I know Model Chili. I've watched him build a few things. I think he built a Reliant. I think he built a Star Trek II refit. Yeah, I've watched his channel. That's true. Well, it's good that we watch some of the same model builders. Yeah, what I'm going to do for the Enterprise C, particularly the bottom hull, is within all these panel lines, I'm going to do the pearlescent, or maybe even the iridescent. I actually did that on my, let's see if I can get it out here carefully. There we go. I actually did that on my Revell Star Destroyer. See? Different shades of gray, some pearlescent, some iridescent, all along the hull. Oh yeah, it was a great picture, that's true. All right. Oh, yep, this is, here it is. Here's my Enterprise C, 2500 scale. You can see the pearlescent panels there. I actually colored the outer ring with some of the pearlescence too. I know the webcam washes it out, but you can see some of it in there. It was my first attempt at doing such a thing. The one ship I did enjoy from Discovery was the Discovery's version of the Enterprise. You know, the one with Anson Mount as Christopher Pike. So I've already built the 2500 scale with all the Aztec decals and everything. That was quite an experience. I had to correct the instructions on the box to reflect where the panels actually aligned. But I find it significant that that kit, that ship, if not outright that actor, has been so well loved enough that he was the first one to get 1000 scale kit for his ship. Yeah, the guide for the NX-01 was a bit messed up. I think I watched Lou Del Meso's build on that, and he said, "Ooh, reverse where they tell you to put a couple parts." Because they got the guide wrong somehow. But eventually you can figure out where the parts fit and everything. Yeah. Oh, I do have a lot of 1000 scale kits of the refit, both the Star Trek II one. What would you say? Yeah, the decal guide too. Yeah, and I have the older 2009 set. And of course, I always order the aftermarket decals. So I have them here. You see, I ordered the A Creation Models 1000 scale colored decals for the refit. And of course, I have the new Star Trek Wrath of Khan Aztec decal set. With the labels for the Wrath of Khan labels for the stand. So that should work out quite well. So you have a set of decals for each specific ship, and then something I can actually paint with the iridescent colors, just like I did on the 537. But you can see how the even the 1000 scale Aztec decals from A Creation are colored with shades of red and yellow as well. See? So you can actually see the pattern against the sheet. Because against the darker blue paper, it's nearly impossible to see. But I also, buried in the corner, yes. I also have the new Aztec refit decal set, which I found for the 350 scale. I found that at the Hobby Center a few months ago. Yeah. Oh, careful. Let me do that. All right, 1 minute here. Yeah. That's how big it is. You have to hold it that far back to see it, but that is the 350 scale Aztec refit set from Polar Lights. And we'll see how big one of the sheets is. It has quite an extensive guide, placement guide, as you can see here. See? And it has a placement guide for the secondary hull as well. So that'll be fun. The good thing is there is plenty of room to be able to paint directly on the pattern of the decal itself with the appropriate color. And you can see, if you get it in the light correctly, in the sunlight, you can see that they actually have a raised section around each pie wedge, so you know exactly where to cut to fit it properly on the ship, which will certainly save a lot of trouble. And they label it sheet 1, sheet 2, etc. So it'll be quite good. But I'm thinking myself, oh, what color are you using for the Aztecs again? Okay, 1 minute. I will show you those colors again. I'll get all 4 out. All right. I am using these golden fluid acrylic colors. So you can see here. So there's the green. There is the gold. There is the blue. And there's the red. Now just give me 1 minute. I have to plug in my laptop. So I'm going to go get the charger. Oh, it's sitting right behind me. Never mind. Here we go. All right. Charger plugged in. Oh, enamels. Yes, I've tried the tester's enamel, but that's what screwed up, or maybe it was me screwing up the paint job on kit, and thus I had to turn it into car. All right, you heard that little beep. The laptop's plugged in now. Okay. Yeah, I've always been a fan of acrylic paints. I first started using them when I discovered the folk art line at Walmart, because that's how I started painting my models, because I live 3 hours away from the nearest big city, and I didn't have access to a hobby shop. Oh, you got to move out for now. It's been fun, though. Have a good one. You too. I'm thinking of wrapping it up now since it's approached the 90-minute mark, but I'll try to do this again. Do a premiere of part 6 of the Delorean, the Defiant, next on Friday. So, see you later. Thanks for talking, and thanks for watching the live stream, and we'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.